Hey everybody, welcome back. Fantasy Endgame draft time. Let's get into a sleeper mock. Why not? Because now that the NFL draft is over, we want to see where the chips may fall in your fantasy leagues. Too early? There's no such thing. It's never too early to draft, is it?
Never too early to draft. And like there's stuff going on. We just had George Pickens traded to the Cowboys. Dallas Goedert gonna be an Eagle. So we've had some big news recently.
That's right. George Pickens. I'm very curious. I mean, I feel like this has to help, right? Going to a team that actually has a quarterback. That's always good. And then
Yes.
not having to compete with a guy who basically is like his spitting image in terms of the way he plays and DK Metcalf. So we'll see who is the biggest believer in George Pickens and of course the rookies. Always curious exactly how much hype these rookies are going to get. All right. Y'all are already knocking on the door, begging for the link. Here we go. Okay, the link is coming any second now. Now, if you want to get in on this draft, just click the link. You have not too long because we got 10 spots open. Chris is at the 3. I'm at the 10. There it is, Danny. It's there. Click the link and join this mock, and let's see how we're going to do it. Today, it's a half PPR. Pretty quick one here. 1 quarterback, 2 running back, 2 receiver, a tight end, and not a whole lot of bench spots here. All right. There we go. We're done.
We're full. We ready. We got Who on the clock at the 1, and we got some familiar faces. Dollar Bill, Jay Problem, Keith, Danny,
Jay
head coach
Problem.
Campbell.
What is up, Jay? Been a minute.
Been a minute.
All right. All right, guys, let's do this. We got Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, number 2. Glad to see someone still believes he's an elite fantasy option. I getting used to seeing in the underdog drafts we're doing. He's not even a top 5 pick sometimes. I don't know.
Yeah, but I feel like he's starting to move up now that we're at like Best Ball Mania and we got more of like I feel like he's starting to move up a little bit.
Now I don't know if this news counts as news, but I don't even know where it came from. Now that I think about it, the source might be important. But, speculation that supposedly the Vikings are going to go maybe a little less pass heavy with JJ McCarthy and he came from a run heavy program at Michigan and, they got Jordan Mason. And because of that, it's like a 1-2 punch. And you think that's just punchable?
Yeah, I mean, they did not do anything that screams in the free agency or in the draft that screams to me we want to run the football.
Jordan Mason.
I mean, yeah, Jordan Mason's fine and Aaron Jones was fine last year, but it's not like they went out, and got a big time free agent or used, relatively early draft capital on a running back. So I think, it's Kevin O'Connell. You are who you are. You know what I mean? It's like last year when Mike McCarthy said, what did he say after the season ended in 2023 and they made him the play caller again? Remember they got rid of Kellen Moore and then they made him the play caller and he's like, we need to run the ball better. And everybody's freaking out that like they're not going to throw as much and see. You are who you are. You are you. Mike McCarthy wants to throw the ball. Kevin O'Connell wants to throw the ball. They're going to throw the ball.
Right. And he's proven it wasn't just because of a quarterback, because you can say, well, Kirk Cousins, that's what he does, right? He drops back and he just, throws it 40 times a game. Now have Kirk Cousins, last year. And even when there were random other quarterbacks like Nick Mullins and Josh Dobbs and whoever else they had, the offense did not completely change. When they probably should have got more run heavy, he still threw it a bunch. Like, exactly. You are who you are.
Yeah. You are who you are. Dollar Bill, Derrick Henry in round 1.
Nice. Well, half PPR. I can see it. I'm thrilled to get Malik Neighbors at the 10. I honestly think he's probably worth a top 5 draft pick, so I'll take him. You know what? Let's go H-Chan.
Interesting. All right.
Starting to me kind of slowly talk myself into Achan, not first round, but potentially, let's say, top 5 running back.
No,
Because, well,
I like Achan. We know he's going to catch a zillion passes.
I mean, Achan is CMC, but younger and without all the injuries. And my debate really is, look, I still have him over Bucky Irving. He's going to catch many more passes than Bucky Irving. Is JT, like, do I prefer JT or Achan at this point?
I think in half PPR it gets closer. I think in full PPR I definitely prefer Achan.
Yeah, this is where I'm interested to see how the board shakes out. Now, again, take it for what it's worth. It's May, and this we know, any site, not just Sleeper, but any site, the ADP and the rankings are all a little goofy. But yeah, they got Bucky Irving next, then Josh Jacobs, then Jonathan Taylor. Ashton Gianti is still down there. I wonder if that's affecting the fact he hasn't been taken yet. We've been under in Best Ball Mania, we see him as a first round pick like every time.
Yeah, I mean, so now Slimeball will probably take him, snipe him from me. But I was surprised.
Right.
I thought Keith was going to. I thought you were going to. No, I guess I'm getting Genty. All right.
There you go.
All right, I'll take him here. I'll happily take him here. Running back start.
Yeah, and that's the other one. Gianti, do you just, I mean, do you have him pretty much locked in as a top 5 RB?
Yeah, I think he's right there. I think I'm comfortable. Like, I think CMC Achan is where it gets close for me. I mean, I do like CMC for sure. CMC Genty would be tough. Would be a tough decision for me. I think I could take him over Achan.
Yeah, it's like I can easily pass on CMC just for the risk factor. I'd rather take him if he's a value, and I feel like early second is not a great value, but it's like Achan, Gianti, and then possibly JT. That's where I can see those guys somewhat interchangeable. Gonna say, if this were underdog, then you could consider the 3-headed monster at running back, robust RB, but not in this draft.
I could. I mean, look, in this format, it doesn't hurt because it's a 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, 1 flex, so it's okay to flex a running back there. But I like Terry. I feel like Terry's being pretty undervalued. I mean, this guy was great last year with JD. I mean, what have they done that scared me? They haven't done anything that scared me off of him.
No. I don't want to hear anybody mention Debo in regards to target share. Like, no, you need to kill that noise.
Yeah. Terry's gonna be great again.
All right, so let's put this up.
Sorry, I did consider McBride, but then it's like, man, running back, tight end start. Ooh.
Okay.
In an end-game draft.
Yeah, tight end this early, no, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter the format, but especially not in half. Okay, so I haven't got the comments yet. Let's put this up because Slimeball, who just went after you at the 4, took Saquon, which seems fine. Are you worried about the 350 touches of doom?
I mean, you always have to be worried about players coming off historically good seasons because it means they probably had the ball a lot. They were probably extreme. They were probably very like outlier-ish on the efficiency scale, probably outlier-ish on the touchdown scale, although I would say that probably wasn't the case for Barkley, but he was definitely outlier-ish on the efficiency scale as far as long runs and things like that. But at the same time, we know Barkley, like this isn't, a guy we've never seen do it before. Like we know Barkley is an extremely talented player. He he's handled 300 plus touches in his career before. So I think I'm not so worried about like, injury, or I'm more worried about like he had a historically good season. He's probably not going to have a historically good season again. He could still have a very good season. But again, like if Saquon Barkley goes out there and gets like 1,500 yards and 10 touchdowns, that's really good. But that's not gonna be the expectations people are gonna have for him after what he did last year. So it's gonna feel like he, struggled.
Right. Well, anything less than being the RB1 and the best player in fantasy, at least at running back, will be disappointment. But I'm not gonna find a reason to worry.
It's like Jamar Chase. The most likely outcome for Jamar Chase is that he's really good, but not 101 good. Just because, again, it's hard. Like, think about the 101 seasons. We're talking like 1,700 plus yards, 15 touchdowns. Like, we're talking 2,000 plus scrimmage yards for a running back, double-digit touchdowns. Like, you don't do that every single year. Like, you just don't. It's hard. It's football. It's not that easy.
Yeah.
So, again, if Jamar Chase goes out there this year and has 1,500 yards and only scores 8 touchdowns, he's still going to be very good, but it's going to feel like a disappointment if you took him at the 101. But that being said, you still need to take him at the 101.
Yes, I do still think you do need to take him at the 101. More running back talk here. Hampton went at the 3-2. So let's see. Before Chase Brown, James Cook, Breece Hall. Okay, Breece Hall, we have no idea what's going on there. But are you okay taking him before those two running backs?
Oh, say it again.
Amari and Hampton going before Chase Brown, James Cook, guys like that.
No. Sorry, Danny.
Yeah, I'm not.
I mean, I like Hampton, and I certainly think, Hampton could be a second half, kind of, I don't want to say league winner, but like that type of player, right? Like a very good
breakout.
Right. But I already know that, like, well, he didn't take, I mean, Chase Brown, I would take him. I would take Chase Brown over Hampton. I'd probably take Cook over Hampton. Cook Hampton might be close for me.
Yeah, and I landed Cook there, and obviously the running backs are going off the board a little earlier. So it's half PPR. Cook, I feel like after him was kind of like a next tier, a little bit of a drop. I don't know. Maybe this is a little too speculative, but they did not go ahead and give Cook this extension he wanted, right? He wants to get paid. Makes sense. Running backs especially want to get paid now. They're saying, hey, basically you need to earn it. So I wonder if that's a little extra motivation. We see another season like, I prefer that. I'd rather have a guy I know who's working for the contract and just got it, I mean, it doesn't always break out the right way, but I don't know, it makes me feel actually a little bit better about Cook.
Yeah, and they didn't do anything. Right. I mean, every pick they made in the draft that, actually mattered pretty much was defense.
Yep.
So you got to feel pretty good about Cook. Of course, I'll say the thing that always gets me on the fence about James Cook is, again, he's another running back that relies on very high efficiency because he's not going to get a ton of touches. There's always the risk that, like, if the efficiency isn't there, if he's not ripping off long runs, if he's having bad touchdown luck, and you know what I mean, like he could certainly underwhelm. But the situation is great for him for sure.
Right. And again, people use it almost as a negative. Oh, Josh Allen, vultures touchdowns, runs so much, but that makes it a better offense. He's on a very good offense, and the team that will move the ball, you know what I mean? I still think it benefits him. then any running back being on a bad offense doesn't matter whether the quarterback runs or not. So I still prefer Cook. And he scored plenty of touchdowns last year. It's not like Josh Allen took every single touchdown, just like Jalen Hurts did not take away every single touchdown from Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, I know. It's a little overblown. These, like, same with Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. I think it's a little overblown, these, like, rushing quarterbacks taking all the touchdowns.
No.
So that doesn't worry me too much. Again, it's more the fact that James Cook, doesn't rank very high in terms of, weighted opportunities, in terms of overall touches for running backs. I mean, he's not like towards the bottom, but he's not up there with the, elite guys, because of course they are in an offense where, they are going to throw the ball a decent amount, and we know Josh Allen is going to run the ball a decent amount. But that being said, he's an explosive runner. He's in a good offense. So, he's certainly, like, there's, unlike somebody like Josh Jacobs, who you feel like, okay, I know Jacobs is going to get the volume. James Cook does have that, a little bit of risk with the fact that, like, the volume's not there. So if the efficiency isn't there, like, if he's not ripping off those long runs, or like I said, he's having bad touchdown luck, like he's getting tackled at the one all over and over again, be a little underwhelmed. But the offense and the situation is certainly great. And again, they brought in no competition. So
right. Yeah, exactly. Nothing has changed for the worse necessarily. Man.
That's good value on Tet there.
Yeah, we hadn't seen really a lot of rookies yet, except for those couple of running backs early. Man, I'm stuck here. Got a couple of receivers. I don't know. Am I going to be the one? Do I pull the trigger on George Pickens already? That feels a little early. Addison.
I like Addison. I feel like Addison is another guy that just gets slept on.
Yeah, and again, not going to worry too much about the quarterback situation. They drafted McCarthy for a reason. He should be fine. They're still going to throw the ball.
Yeah, it's easy. I think it's easy to forget that last year, this time of year, we were feeling good about McCarthy. We're like, hey, and we were saying, like, okay, it's like, if Sam Darnold struggles, at least they have McCarthy, right? We're feeling good about Jefferson. We're feeling good about Addison. But of course, we haven't seen McCarthy in a year, and now everybody's worried.
That's all it takes, right? It's easy to forget. Yeah, I think Addison.
You lost out on Pickens now.
That's okay. Better in best ball, anyways.
I kind of feel that way about Addison too, but I like that Harvey pick. That was a good pick, Keith. I like that.
Yeah, I thought I might get Harvey on the way back. This just continues the trend, right? Waiting too long to get RJ Harvey. That's okay.
Yeah.
You know what? Actually, there's another, and this is another thing, guys, is, if you're doing mocks, not that many of you are on Sleeper, the rookies are still ranked way down there.
Yeah. So if you're looking for the rookies, you can click that little rookies button right there, like I just did. You can see rookies only. You can see they're just buried. They're buried in the ADP. So make sure you click on it and take a look.
Yeah, I'll take a guy like that, 'cause I think I've officially talked myself into Henderson just barely over Judkins, just barely.
Yeah, that's right where I'm at too. I'm on the fence with those two. Henderson, Judkins, very, very close for me. I think Henderson certainly is the ceiling play, because he just got way more explosive ability, the pass catching. But I think Judkins probably the floor play, because cleaner path to touches in a better running offense. But yeah, very close for me there. And now we're seeing rookie fever.
See, talk it up. And there it goes. There it happens. Oh man. Pacheco. All right, let's talk about the Chief.
Wait, all right, Jay Problem.
All right. Got faith in Pacheco. Maybe still the guy there.
It would make sense. It would make sense a year later.
Right. That's how it tends to happen. Okay, I actually want to put this up, talking about the Chiefs and MB. All right, what about Rashee Rice? Because it sounds like what we just heard a couple of weeks ago is no limitations, ready to go. Week 1 shouldn't even be in question. I don't think that is even the issue is injury. He should be fine, right? And assuming he is, we'll know before week 1. But Xavier Worthy came on last year. Marquise Brown might actually play for the Chiefs more than one game this year. So what do you think about Rice? What's fair for him?
Yeah, the Chiefs wide receiver room it's like turning into a headache. Because remember when Rice's rookie season, it was just pretty much all Rice. Now you at least have Worthy there. You have Hollywood for whatever he has left. I like the rookie they drafted, Royals. I think he could do some things in that offense. And then you also have to worry about the fact that, like, what is this Chiefs offense these days? Like, this is not. Hold on, what do I do here? Like, this is not, that explosive offense we saw or we're kind of used to.
Yeah, it's just not a pass-first offense. Like, it used to lead with a pass. They don't need to pass it. They have a great defense. They got one of the best defenses in the NFL. Why would they drop back and pass it if they don't have to? And most of Mahomes' passing came in the fourth quarter when they had to come from behind because they didn't score in the first half, right? And that's because they weren't aggressive. So, yeah, how many targets is he realistically getting? I think that's why – he cannot be considered number 1 receiver for fantasy. Number 2, I prefer him more as like a mid to lower wide receiver 2.
Yeah, I think where Xavier Worthy's going is very fair. Where he went in this draft is very fair. When I look at Rice, I mean, Zay Flowers, Devonta Smith, DJ Moore, Olave, I think that's probably fair. Like, those guys are like, even though Zay Flowers is the wide receiver 1 on his team, I view him more as like a wide receiver 2 in fantasy. Same with Devonta Smith, same with DJ Moore. Sadly, probably same with Olave because it's Tyler Shuck, I guess. So I think that's probably pretty fair where he went. Maybe I'd probably prefer him maybe like a round later.
Yeah, that's probably right. And yeah, I'm looking at Devontae Adams versus Rashee Rice right next to each other. Even though Adams is, I don't know. I don't think he's even going to call him the number 2 receiver. He and Puka are both basically like tied for the 1A, 1B role. They're both going to get a ton of targets. And then Rice, you might want to say he's the number 1 receiver. I don't think that's a sure thing. I don't think that we can say on a weekly basis Rice gets more targets than Worthy or even still sometimes Kelsey. You know what I mean? They're going to spread the ball around like they tend to do. So I do still much prefer like Devontae Adams over Rice. It's also interesting, though, because Xavier Worthy in best ball always goes before Rashee Rice, like a couple rounds, and now it's flipped.
Well, yeah, again, it's that perception, right? We saw Worthy last year. He came on down the stretch. We haven't seen Rice in basically not quite a year because he played like 4 games last year, but mostly. So you know how that works.
Oh yeah. Okay. I did notice you just went with a pair of rookies. Matthew Golden, coming around on Matthew Golden a little bit. You took him before Hunter.
Yeah. I will say him and Hunter are close for me. They're both guys that I feel like have tremendous upside, but I'm also not sure what to make of them as far as it goes for fantasy. Yeah, that one's close. That one's close for me, but I do really like the way Golden fits that Packers offense. Yes, he's going to be volatile because it's the Packers and there's a lot of mouths to feed. But I think they're going to use him. I don't want to say he's like Tyreek Hill because that's a ridiculous comparison. But like I think they're going to use him the way the Dolphins used Tyreek Hill those first 2 years, like a lot of motion where he's not running forward, but he's running forward, like cheating basically, like the Dolphins did with Tyreek Hill.
It's not cheating if you don't get caught.
That's true, right? Where it's like okay, I mean, he's running like full speed, but he's kind of going sideways, but he's kind of going forward, and then he just like blows by everybody because he's too fast. I could see the Packers using him that way. Matt LaFleur using him that way. So it's close. Hunter Golden is close for me. I'm probably too bullish on Golden, to be honest.
I think it's fair. Jaden Reed's role probably won't change much from what it has been. Christian Watson is out. There's, some innuendo that maybe if the Steelers, for whatever reason, decide to make Aaron Rodgers their quarterback, he's going to bring a guy over, right? And it's probably going to be Alan Lazard, but it also, I saw it could be Romeo Doubs. He might be like, hey, I like that guy. And then there's one more, player off of that roster in Green Bay. So you never know.
Yeah. Somebody asking, yeah, okay, so you heard me, Ken. Yeah, very close, Golden. And maybe I'm not bullish enough on Hunter and his role in Jacksonville. I do think he'll play enough wide receiver, but I do worry. Like, it's Trevor Lawrence. We haven't really seen Trevor Lawrence. I mean, Brian Thomas was good with Trevor Lawrence, but he really kind of took off with Mac Jones, which was kind of crazy. I don't know. Maybe it's close. It's close for those two guys for me, honestly.
Yeah. Agree with that.
Justin Herbert, you're on I didn't know you were on to Justin Herbert this year.
I'm in between where I was last year and the year before on him. I think he's going to be kind of a solid low end QB1. I like Trey Harris that they took him. I like that he got weapons, basically. Like, they got weapons for him. I mean, he actually was a little bit better as far as production. I'm just talking fantasy, right? I don't care about like whether they won or not. He was a little better than I expected last year. The offense toward the end of the season really became less conservative, which was encouraging. And I think now we know Ladd is a stud, got more help at receiver. You know what? Maybe it's a little bit more pass heavy. I think also for me, looking at Jordan Love, he was underwhelming last year for fantasy. The other player I consider there is Bo Nix. They got RJ Harvey, but did they get help at receiver? The receiver, that room is the same as it was. And if Bo Nix is the same as he was last year, which he'll probably be a little bit better, just having a year of experience, having an actual running back who might average more than 2.5 yards per carry, he should be a little bit better. But I think I'm going to take a shot on Herbert. And also, it's not best ball. I don't feel obligated to necessarily stack here.
Yeah. Did I miss? Did I miss Juwan Jennings getting taken? There he is. Dude, he's buried. Juwan Jennings down at 1402 in the ADP. Why?
1402?
Yes.
They even have that many players?
I guess they do, because that's his ADP on here.
What? See, this is why we do these, right? These alert marks, you never know. But that's weird.
Yeah, that is one of the downsides of sleeper, these ADPs.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, I was looking and I was like, because I was going to take Pearsall, but then you took him. So I was like, well, maybe I'll get Jennings on the way back. And I'm like, okay, nobody took Jennings. But then I'm looking at the wide receiver list. I don't see him. I'm like, what? Where is he?
He was right there after Jeff Thomas and KJ Osborne.
Makes sense. Wherever he belongs.
Yeah, Pearsall, interesting here because Bill took Ayuk, and then the next pick I took Pearsall. I think generally I'm kind of more on Pearsall than Ayuk, and then Jennings I think is right after them. But this is one of those situations where I feel like all three of them are going to be lumped pretty close together because we're not really sure what the pecking order will be in terms of targets.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing here is Ayuk and how he's recovering from that injury. When is he ready? When is he 100%? Like if he's I get the impression now, and of course it's only May from listening to Kyle Shanahan speak. Doesn't sound good that he's going to be ready to start the season. So that makes me more bullish, of course, on Pearsall and Jennings. I like Pearsall. I mean, I would probably take Pearsall over Jennings because I think Pearsall is going to get, we know Jennings is going to play that outside wide receiver role, but Jennings is going to get a lot of those layup throws. I mean, Pearsall is going to get a lot of those layup throws, and they spent a first round pick on this guy last year. He didn't really get to play because, of course, he got shot. But if we start hearing like, oh yeah, Ayuk's good, he's going to be ready week 1, then I think that kind of hurts everybody a little.
True. Oh, all right. We're flying through now. Yeah, I think, I mean, like you said, two things. First of all, rookie, like figuring things out, and oh yeah, gunshot. I mean, I think we can give him a pretty big pass for the whole first half of last season, and the way he came on toward the end of last season shows you his potential in that offense. We haven't even seen what he can become yet. Jennings had a great, for him, a great season, a big couple of games in particular, but then sometimes disappeared. So a player I do like also better in best ball. I still like him as like a number 4 receiver in general, but I think Pearsall is definitely going to be a more steady fantasy contributor. Ayuk is the big unknown, but that's why I'm taking him after Pearsall because I don't know. Oh, deny me. Keith did that just to deny me the potential stack of Trey Harris after I talked about it. Don't think I didn't notice that, Keith. We got 3 rounds left. Let's see.
We had quite the tight end run there.
Yeah, I'm fine with Njoku, I guess. Who am I fine with here? I don't know. Running back has quickly dried up.
Travis Etienne still on the board?
Yeah, I scrolled past him pretty quickly. All right. Oh, well, there you go. Bill gets him. That's what happens when you auto.
I think Bill and Jay Problem are auto drafting now. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, they are. WPL must be a Vikings fan. Talked about Aaron Jones being a good value. Now TJ Hawkinson. Look, I actually would have taken Hawk if I didn't have Jordan Addison. Hawkinson, I'd keep taking him in best ball because I feel like it's a good ADP for him. So I kind of agree with that. I mean, this guy also, again, coming off injury. I think we can give him the benefit of the doubt that he'll get back to what he was this year.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't expect top 5 numbers from TJ Hawkinson this year, but I mean, at this point, good enough. Set and forget tight end, that's fine.
I think I don't think it's unreasonable to say, hey, Hawk and Laporta might put up very similar numbers. And Laporta is going usually a couple, if not several rounds earlier. So just give me Hawkinson later.
Yeah.
Not saying Laporta is dead in the water just because Ben Johnson's gone. But wow, Blake Corum. Wow. Okay, so you are a Jordan Mason believer. I knew it.
Yeah. It's round 10.
I knew it.
He's my RB4.
All right.
I mean, you got to feel good. I mean, you got to feel good because I still think Aaron Jones will be fine this year. He'll be what he is.
Yeah.
But again, they signed Jordan Mason and they did nothing else at running back. So got to feel pretty good.
Yeah, they'll use him. And again, if Aaron Jones, who's had some injury problems, nothing serious, but also getting up there with touches. If Aaron Jones goes down, you got a huge workhorse in Jordan Mason. Mm-hmm. Okay, Keith chipping in here with the Jags talk. They got BTJ and Hunter. People are sleeping on his value. So thinking that Hunter, he should go higher than he did?
I think where he went is probably pretty fair for me. But yeah, I agree. I mean, again, it's not like I'm strongly very close between those two for me.
All right, so for me, it's more this. I think where he went is fair. I think it's fine. I know from experience that the Jaguars receivers don't always live up to expectations, and he's not the number one receiver there, right? He's not. If he had gone to Cleveland, he would. I mean, look, Jerry Jeudy, sure, put up big numbers with Joe Flacco or Jameis Winston last year. He could be the number one receiver there. He's definitely not the number one receiver with Brian Thomas there. And look, I'm just not sold that Trevor Lawrence is ever going to be him. Like, I think he is what he is. So I don't want to get carried away by the potential upside, in Jacksonville.
I think that's your big issue is Trevor Lawrence, more so than anything else.
Right. All right, let's see what we need. I got 4 and 4. 1, 2, 3. I guess I could just do one more of each, huh? All right, Marshawn Lloyd. I'm not the only truther left. Billy, speaking of Jags again, he's saying which player overall moved up in the fantasy draft from last year the most? BTJ, to some extent. I don't know who was there anybody who moved up more. Bucky Irving,
probably Bucky Irving. He wasn't even drafted in most leagues.
Yeah, nobody even thought about Bucky Irving.
Yeah, probably Bucky. Now he's the 2nd round pick.
All right, last round here. We're just going 12 today. Try to get a quick mock in. Let's see. It's appropriate to handcuff in this format, right?
I mean, it's fine. I don't know if it's appropriate.
It's not smart, but I mean, I don't see any other running backs I like.
Who are you even handcuffing here?
I will slap Ray Davis onto James Cook.
Ray Davis with James Cook.
I hear you on this NMB. I kind of uttered Blake Corum's name because I didn't know if anybody else would draft him. Yeah, I believed in Blake Corum too long as well. Man, Jalen Waddle. What do you
What
even do with
happened?
it? Huh?
What happened to Jalen Waddle?
I don't know. I honestly I do not know. All right, appreciate Minor King with the super chat here toward the ends. So wants to know more Jags talk about Tootin. So not that this is a shocker, but it just came out that maybe this coaching staff doesn't really love Travis Etienne. Like this was leaked after the draft. This was today. I don't think a new head coach drafts two different running backs. No, exactly. All right, so what do they do though? That obviously nobody wanted to trade for him, and I'm not sure why they would. There's so many running backs out there. Tank Bigsby is still there, so what do you think is realistic for Tootin? And did he even get drafted in this? He didn't, did he?
He did. He
did
went.
He?
Yeah, he went two picks before I was going to take him. I like Tootin. I think he can fill that. I think he can fill that change of pace role, that pass catching role. He's a absolute weapon in the passing game, similar to Devon Achane, where you can just throw him a screen pass and he turns it into a 40, 50-yard touchdown. So he's not going to be a 3-down workhorse type running back, but man, I think he can be in your PPR leagues. I think he can be a great upside flex type of running back. I would rather have him than Etienne, honestly. I think he can take over that role.
Yeah, I mean, you have to wonder, honestly, does Travis Etienne have any value anymore? Is he really just going to be sitting on the sideline watching? Who knows? But I do still think Tank is the guy week one and probably the early down back, even later in the season. And Tootin is working in the mix, but cannot feel good about Etienne in any way. So Tootin is worth drafting late. But again, don't get carried away. It's not like he's going to all of a sudden come in week one and just be the guy. That's not how it works. Even for guys who are drafted higher. Now, there's exceptions, obviously, Gianti, but for the most part, rookie RBs takes a little time. All right. We're done. So here it is. We're going to break down what we did here. Just, you know what? You want to go just overall draft trends? We're not going to go through every team, right?
Yeah, no, we got to go through every team. That's what the people want.
Every team. All right. Even dollar bill. Auto drafted and Jay.
We don't have to do the guys that auto drafted half their team.
Oh, now here they go. They're back. It just jumped back on. All right. Let's say who's who, which is it looks like that's Joshua. Because he took Tootin. Got Chase at the 1, got Bucky and Kyron at the turn. Burrow, but by the way, I didn't get to ask you this. We saw JD and Burrow taken before you landed Hurts. You think about that?
I don't know what to think of that. I don't understand. I mean, Jalen Hurts to me feels like the biggest value at QB in fantasy drafts right now. It's like I get potentially the QB, like the guy who can give me QB1 weeks in the 5th round. Like, okay, fine.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out why, because we've seen this, right? Even before the draft in Best Ball Mania, we keep seeing Hurts would fall behind the other quarterbacks. I'm like, why?
I think people are still worried that the tush push is going to get banned, but I don't think it's getting banned.
That's what it is. That's probably what it is. You're right. That's probably what it is. All right. But anyways, we'll get to your team in a second. He got Burrow to go with Chase. So, okay, I get that. Burrow to stack. DJ Moore, Judy Laporta, Jacoby Myers, Luther Burden, Garendo Tootin, and Egbuka. Some young players late. Too young?
No, I think it's fine. They got a lot of guys I like. I mean, Garendo is a sneaky good pick. I think again, like Tootin's a sneaky good pick. Bucky and Irving feels pretty good at running back. Obviously, Chase is great. You got the Burrow stack there. I mean, that's the thing about these leagues. You only need one flex. So between DJ Moore, Judy, Myers, Burden, should be fine. You got Laporta at tight end. Solid team right there.
Agree. Very solid there. All right, Danny. Justin Jefferson, T. Higgins, Omarion at the 3-2. Talked about that. Got JD, Olave, Hunter at the end of the 6th round. I'm actually surprised he didn't get taken much sooner. Tracy, Javonte Williams. Sorry, just dramatic pause just for effect. Ramondre, Josh Downs, J.K. Dobbins, who is he with the team? He's not with the team yet, is he?
Not with the team yet. Nor is Jimmy Graham, but you never know. You never know. Maybe.
We had a couple of interesting last round picks. I will say, just for the Jimmy Graham pick, extra point there on my grade. What do you think?
Yeah, you got JD. I like your wide receivers for sure. Running backs are dicey for me. I'm certainly worried about Tracy. Javonte Williams, I don't even care that he's a Cowboy. Very worried Ramondre is going to lose his job or a lot of touches to Henderson. Dobbins doesn't have a team. So running back a little dicey for me. Tight end certainly dicey. You might need to stream tight end at some point this season. We'll see. See how it plays out.
Yeah, we'll see. I love the latest up. I'm clicking on it. The latest update is considering retirement ? From a year ago. Yeah, you might need help there, but that's okay. Yeah. It's always the waiver wire. It's just tight end.
That's what the waiver wire's for.
Exactly. All right. You probably won't need the waiver wire running back because you have Bijan and Ashton Giante. I don't think it really matters who you have after that. But you also got Terry McLaurin, Devontae Smith to go with Jalen Hurts. Got Golden, Jennings. Talked about them. Caleb Johnson. I like that pick. Jordan Mason and Hawkinson. Pittman. And then your boy, Jack Besh. Did you like the way it turned out?
I like the way it turned out. I mean, I like my wide receivers. I like my running backs. I certainly like my QB. Tight end is good enough. No complaints from me.
I don't see a reason to complain here either. So I'm actually a little disappointed myself. I didn't notice Besh was still on the board. But again, in these rankings, you're going to have to dig or you have to filter rookies only. So I got to remember to do that next time.
Yep.
Slime ball season. The seasoned veteran here. We've got Saquon and Jacobs. Then went McBride at the 3rd round. So then the receivers are Flowers, Sutton, Ridley, Jaden Reed, Cooper Kupp, and pretty sure that's Antonio Brown with the last round pick. All right.
Yeah, we're gonna see the return of Antonio Brown and Jimmy Graham this year. Fantasy studs. But look, absolutely. I mean, Antonio Brown's your 5th wide receiver or your 6th wide receiver. You don't even need him. Barkley, Jacobs, it's good. McBride, and then you still got, I actually am kind of, sort of in on Ridley this year. I wasn't in on Ridley last year, but he's got Cam Ward. They didn't do really a whole lot at wide receiver, so I kind of like Ridley as your wide receiver 3. You got whatever Patrick Mahomes is going to give you, so I think it's a good team, even though you got crazy Antonio Brown on your bench.
Right. And like I will say, you hopefully don't need a backup running back more than just for the bye weeks with Barkley and Jacobs. But yeah, Corum and Ford may not cut it for you, but that's okay. The coach, Dan Campbell, at the 5, went with his boy, of course, Jahmyr Gibbs, and then JT. So had a couple in a row, 3 straight double RB starts. Harrison, Rice, Waddle, J-Mo, Odunze, Tank, Nix, Benson, Keon Coleman, and Colston Loveland as the starting tight end. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, Loveland is the starting tight end, a little risky, but I mean, you can always stream tight end. I love that running back start. I mean, Gibbs, JT, got to feel good about that. I think Harrison's being slept on. We talked about Rice already. Waddle, maybe this is the year, but I do like the Jameson pick, and I'm not really. I'm a little nervous about Odunze, but I think that's great value. So I think your wide receivers are fine with your flex. Knicks at QB, when you're waiting, is more than fine. I really like that Benson pick. So, yeah, again, I think very, very good team here.
Yeah, I think solid start. But, yeah, I mean, Waddle's, who knows. But I like the value in the middle rounds here. I like Odunze now. His value is going to go down because of the way they drafted. he's still going to be getting a lot of targets in what should be a good offense. So I think like now he's almost become a good value pick. Tank, same thing. He's still going to be the starter week 1. He's still going to get a lot of touches. So I think this is a great value for him. And then Knicks, I could have taken when I took Herbert. I might take it next time. I think that was also a great value waiting in quarterback. So I think well done. Which, by the way, let me put this up because I know he had super chatted earlier asking about Tootin. Minor King. Okay, so rookie draft, what, second round?
Yeah, second round. I wouldn't draft him in round 1, but I think second round is fine for Tootin.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely should be going in rookie drafts. Not first round, but yeah. All right. Let's go to DC, 25-25 at the 6. Got CeeDee Lamb, Lad McConkey, Chase Brown, Devontae Adams, Connor Worthy, Diggs. Raised a few eyebrows in the chat. Diggs in round 7. Scatabo, Boo, Jonnu, Rashad White, Stroudford.
Honestly, the Diggs pick might be the only pick I don't like, and it's not even that bad. This is a great deal. CeeDee Lad, got Chase Brown in the middle of the 3rd. That's great. Adams in the 4th. James Conner is always undervalued and solid. Worthy, Scattaboo, Jonnu, Rashad White, CJ Stroud, who's everybody's like nobody wants to draft. I think this is a great team. I mean, if the worst pick is Diggs in the 7th, you're doing something right.
Yeah, I agree. Great values up and down the board. So no complaints with this draft for me. Runner 0, number 7, got Puka, then Bowers, Garrett Wilson, Chuba Hubbard, Baker Mayfield, Pollard, Debo, Andrews. Interesting. We need another. I don't think we needed another tight end if we got Brock Bowers in round 2, did we?
No, I'm not invested in a second round pick on Bowers to then take a tight end in the 8th personally.
Oh, well. Then Charbonnet, Mooney, Eckler, and Dak. Same thing in this format, especially we only had 12 rounds, but really in most, you don't need a second quarterback. Not that Baker Mayfield is, among the elite. Let's be honest, he had a great season, but he's still, let's say, tier 2 at least. But you still don't need, I don't think, a second quarterback or a second tight end. But overall, is this enough or is this lacking depth?
Yeah, I mean, I like Pollard, but I can't say Pollard's, he's not an RB1, but I don't feel like Chuba's gonna be an RB1. By the way, Jonathan Brooks, man. I don't know if you saw it, but they put him on PUP. His season's over. Like, man, poor guy. Who knows what we're ever gonna get from Jonathan Brooks. But they did bring in Rico Dowdle. They did draft a decent running back, so it's a crowded backfield there now. Yeah, Charbonnet, Eckler. First 3 picks are fine. I mean, I still don't like Bowers that early, but it's okay, I guess. I don't know. This to me is just like an okay team. Like, this feels like a middle of the road team to me. Nothing really jumps out.
Yeah, and again, instead of Debo, would just rather have taken one of the 49ers receivers like a Pearsall or even Ayuk. And then the problem is you take a second tight end there, you could have had a better receiver like a Jaden Reed, a Jacoby Myers, Juwan Jennings. You could have taken another running back. So, yeah. Jay went with 3 straight receivers. He was the first one to do that. Sun God, JSN, DK, then got Mixon and Pacheco. Kittle, Goff, Jones, Warren, Love. I think the rest of them are autos, but
yeah, a bunch of autos after that. I mean, we'll talk about the start, I guess. I'm okay with St. Brown, JSN. DK is still iffy for me. I mean, now we at least know the target share is going to be there, but the target share is going to be from who exactly? Right. So you got to worry about that. I do think Mixon, Kamara, I think again are good values this year. Just nobody wants to draft these old guys, but they just keep chugging along, producing. Kittle, great value. So I like to start. I think the second half is going to ignore the second half.
Yeah. And then same with Bill. Got Derrick Henry, Drake London, Josh Allen, Kamara, Ted, Judkins, Ayuk, Shakir, and then Kelsey as the tight end one.
Yeah, again, I think that was the autos. So we'll just talk about the start here. Henry, London, Josh Allen is good start. I mean, you got elite players there. Again, I think Kamara being slept on. I thought that was good value for Tet. I think Judkins might have been his last pick. Maybe Ayuk. I don't remember. But, yeah. Then after that, it's chaos. Chaos.
Chaos indeed. Yeah, look, I don't think Tet was drafted too high. I just don't know if I'm sold on him being my every week wide receiver 2. And the thing is with Ayuk, who knows his timeline, that might be what you're looking at. So in a different build, I think I might have felt better about that pick. But let's go to my team. Neighbors, Achane, Cook, Mike Evans, Jordan Addison, Henderson, Pearsall, Herbert, Njoku, Spears, Mims, and Ray Davis.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think you got a lot of good value here. I like Neighbors, Achane. Maybe I take Genty over Achane, but it's close. James Cook, good value. Evans, always a good value. Addison, like the Henderson pick, like the Pearsall pick. Little surprised by Herbert, but it's fine. Njoku's a great value. Spears, Mims, yeah, no complaints here.
Trying it out, seeing how it fits. Nick's probably the better pick than Herbert, but I don't think it'll be a big difference. But, honestly, in retrospect, I could have just done what we usually wind up doing in these drafts and just wait till the final round, and I could have got Dak Prescott, and that would have been
That's
just
what
fine.
I was surprised about. Was like, you're like, I figured at that point you're just waiting.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly, right? It's like, what do we always say? Go early or wait late? And I kind of didn't do either, but I'm knocking the rust off, I guess, get not in midseason form.
That's right.
Keith, always in midseason form. He went Nico and AJB, Breece Hall, who the latest rumor that's probably completely false is that maybe the Cowboys get him, but who knows? Lamar Jackson, Godwin, RJ Harvey, B-Rob, Swift, Ingram, Trey Harris, Lloyd, and Tillman. A lot of players I like, but didn't get. Do you like this roster?
Yeah, I do. I mean, Nico A.J. Brown's a fantastic start. I mean, Breece is a tough one, right? Because you feel like this should be good value for him. And yeah, when he like what team is really trading for Breece? Like the Cowboys, right? That's it. Like what other team really needs Breece Hall? I mean, the Jets, obviously, but if they're trading him, I guess they don't want him. So yeah, I feel like this should be good value for him. Lamar, Godwin. I like RJ Harvey, Brian Robinson, Swift. Seems like a big winner. Although there's some talk they might sign Chubb. We'll see. But I don't know if that really hurts him that much. Like Ingram a lot. Trey Harris, Lloyd. Yeah. Again, no complaints here.
I really love the second half. A lot of my guys, I think I'll be taking a lot of this year. The tough thing is Breece, right? And realistically, it's kind of a tough spot being where he was at the 11th because after he went receiver, and then I took James Cook, and then you're like, okay, if I'm taking my RB1, who is it? Because if he doesn't go Breece Hall, are you sold on Kenny Walker being your RB1? Is it Kamara? Do you just go to Mixon, right? Like who do you think those guys should have been taken before Breece Hall?
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, I could see them being better than Breece, but yeah, I don't think I can do it.
And I'm not saying, hey, you draft late, you need to take an RB early, but it's just, it's hard. It's hard to know. So, yeah, it's Breece Hall is going to be really, really tricky until we have some sense of what's going to happen there. Other John, last but never least, went BTJ, CMC, Tyreek Hill, another guy, who knows. Walker, Monty, Pickens, Kyler Murray, Najee, Tyler Warren as the number 1 tight end, Hollywood, McMillan, and Bateman.
Love the start here. I mean, BTJ, CMC, that could be a monstrous duo right there. Yeah, Tyreek Hill, another one. On the fence about Tyreek Hill, not feeling good about him. Walker, I like Walker. I like, Monty's Monty. Pickens, I think fine is I guess he's going to be your wide receiver 3/flex here, so that's fine. Look, I think Kyler's fine. Kyler's fine. No, it wasn't great. Najee. Warren, I'm a little worried about as your tight end 1, but you can always stream. So, yeah, I think he put in the chat that he graded his team an F. I don't think it's an F. It's better. It's much better. This team is better than you think, Other John.
Definitely not. Actually, get a probably well, maybe not but one of the deepest RB rooms. I don't mean in terms of quantity, but just like even you got a guy like Najee RB4. I know everyone's ready to write him off because of Hampton. He will still be usable. And Monty, of course, you could just have as your every week RB2. You're pretty good at running back. I think Hill, the big unknown. This could be a great value, or maybe the cheetah is going to turn to cheetah dust. Who knows?
Yep.
All right. That's it. We went through all of them. Appreciate you guys jumping on here. One more draft. Not tonight. Sorry, we got not one more draft in us today, but we will be back to do more next week for sure. And not just on here, but also we do some Best Ball Mania, which you don't have to wait for. If you wanted to go draft right now, get some fantasy football draft action in, go to Underdog. First, you need an account. For some reason, anybody here watching doesn't already have an Underdog account, go get it. Sign up for the very first time. Use promo code ENDGAME. You get a free pick, which you can use for any sport. You don't have to wait several months for football season to start. Use it for NBA playoffs. Use it for Major League Baseball, which is going on every single day. And you also get bonus cash when you sign up. So if you haven't tried Underdog, do it, and you'll join us hopefully soon for our next BBM draft, which we will do live. And we'll still be putting out football content on the regular. We do not wait for training camp and for all those things. No, it's always fantasy football season for us. So check out all the great videos that Chris has got coming out, and check out the baseball channel if you happen to be a baseball fan. And even if you're not, check it out anyways and subscribe just because. All right, guys. We'll see you next one.